beautiful Callaway Gardens in Pine Mountain, Georgia. It's the Chevy Trucks 44th Masters, presented by GM Vortec Engines. Hello, everybody. I'm Art Eckman. Traditionally, the Masters invites the greatest water skiers in the world, and this year, no exception, as we expect all kinds of action on the water, as well as tremendous drama. Joining us, Dave Benzel. And Dave, how do you get the invite?
Well, it's interesting because in many competitions, how many people you bring is important. Not here. It's the quality of the people you bring. To be here, you have to have won against your competitors somewhere on the waters of the world. We'll see skiers from 8 different countries competing in slalom skiing, trick skiing, and the exciting ski fly event.
And for wakeboarding, we can't forget that, Jeff Barton.
Art, the wakeboarders definitely recognize that it's an accolade all in itself to step on that starting dock and to put on their bib. But once they take to that water, they recognize it is time to go out there and apply their chosen profession, and they really want to put on the best show possible for those joining us along Robin Lake.
Besides the action on the water, we'll also see the non-competitive events that make this such a beautiful weekend here at Callaway Gardens.
Coming to the Masters is really important to me. It's you know, this is my 11th year, I think. I have to go back and count, but you know, I'd think it would get easier, and it's actually getting harder. You know, actually on the water, you know, the nerves aren't as much as they used to be when I was, you know, first time here. But there's so many other things that, you know, I'm involved with behind the scenes and getting everything ready, and this year has been the most. We came here a week early, and I saw everything getting set up. And in the past years, I just showed up, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing, and I had all those butterflies. And now it's, you know, there's so many other things. Just to have this event is just, it's a huge effort to come off, and I mean, it is an amazing tournament. And for me, it's important for me to go out and prove that I'm, you know, still skiing well, and that's what's hard, is to make sure that everyone expects you to do well, and you want to follow through and be there for everybody. And that's a little bit difficult, but being here is really important. It's a great tournament. It's an experience. Crowds are great this year, and I just look forward to doing well.
At this year's Masters, trick skiing was highly anticipated. But on the water, the rest of the boys did not have enough to overcome the great performance of Nicolas Leforstier. And, of course, the Chevy Trucks Masters Water Ski Tournament is just one of the many highlights at Callaway Gardens. Men's trick time. And it's Jared Llewellyn, the Canadian, 31 years old, one of the sport's great overall champions.
At 5'6", 145 pounds, this guy has a perfect dashing body style for this event. He cramps so many tricks into these 20 seconds. Just, I mean, they go by so quickly. I'm not sure how the judges call them. He stays right over his ski. This is his toe hold pass, obviously, but watch his hand pass. He's got all kinds of tricks here.
He has a personal best of 10,820.
Moving quickly into the flip section. There's the front flip. There's number 2. Here's 3. He's going to start doing them with a twist now. There's number 4. The reverse twisting again. There's number 5. 6 flips in this pass. Unbelievable.
5-time U.S. Masters overall champion. And look at the score, 10,740.
Jared, there are days when the trick skier just feels locked in, and you look locked in today. I mean, there wasn't a bobble anywhere in either pass.
You know, all these guys are tricking unreal, and I came into this event trying a new run. I've used the same run for years, and it's always treated me really good. But the guys now, the level's gone up in the last couple of years. And these guys are tricking over 11 with a bobble. In this round, I just went a little bit fast because I knew I had it. And when I just went for it, I felt more comfortable than yesterday when I tried to go a little bit easy.
Next up for the men's tricks, Jimmy Seamers from Round Rock, Texas, a 21-year-old who was the runner-up last year at the Masters with 10,680 points.
Physically, he's built very much like Jared Llewellyn. Short, compact, and pound for pound, very strong. Oh, he goes down on a toe hold trick, and that's going to be a very costly mistake. The beginning of the run was pretty smooth. Toe 7, toe 5 back. He's wrapping in and out, seems to be under control, and then loses it.
A tough break for the junior from Arizona State. Only 2,610 points. Let's see how he reacts to it. Great focus, though.
All right, going into some very hard ski line tricks, then the front flip, now a whole series of flips, and he's going to try to make up some time, maybe gain an extra trick on the end of this pass. Look how quickly he's moving from trick to trick. I don't know if he can gain enough ground. That was a very poor score in the first pass.
He's doing his darndest, though.
Yeah.
An outstanding comeback try, a tremendous second pass.
Look at the height he gets on his flips. He's way up in the air. This is his forte, how he does his flips.
I certainly admire Jimmy's comeback try in that second pass. Dave?
Jimmy, this shows that one mistake can be fatal, right? One little mistake.
That's trick skiing for you, I had everything going really, really well, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting in the drink just not knowing what to do. Now the ski lines, the flips, all that's pretty easy for me. Actually, the trick I went down on is the one that I've been having problems with, but yeah, I didn't expect to fall on it in the tournament, so hand pass is pretty easy though.
Well, I guess you'll be back next year.
I will be, hopefully.
Really, it's a family sport, and it goes back to my parents. We got started, my father enjoyed the sport, and when we were young, he got us all started and started tournament skiing, and we've been doing it ever since. A lot of it here is consistency because the conditions are kind of tough, and usually in the prelims and the finals there's a lot of pressure. But everybody's skiing so good now that really you need the consistency, but you need it all, so it ends up to be a go-for-it situation either way. There's a lot of pressure out there, and you don't want to miss the cut. Everybody wants to go to Sunday. Everybody wants to ski good on Sunday. I'm a little more high-strung, so, I bounce around a little bit, but I just try to stay calm and relax in my mind and just go out there and have some fun and try to ski the way I can ski.
On the water, a living legend, Corey Picos, who brought to the trick event a new style, and he's won 10 U.S. Master Championships.
He is a precise machine. Watch the rope control. Never any slack in the line. He is a master at how he wraps in and wraps out, always controlling the line so he can go quickly from one trick to the other.
A 24-time world record holder.
Ski line back-to-back and reverse right down to the very end. Look at the pull that he must use on that with his leg to get over the rope. Here's the handheld pass. Again, over the line, his first two tricks. Oh, unintentionally crossed the wake here. He's in trouble. He lost a lot of time there. Now he's going to have to make it up. Remember, these are the hardest tricks in the book. You cannot afford to fall here. His series of flips, landing just outside the wake, coming right back in. Next flip, and going down on the 7 back-to-back, but it was right at the end of the pass.
Corey Picos, whose personal best of 11,930 won't be reached on this one.
Corey, it looks like during the hand pass, one little unintentional wake crossing may have been expensive.
Yeah, it really was. I tried to get my toe pass, hand pass. I really tried to get a stronger pace going and be real deliberate. But the water's moving. It got me moving a little bit, and the combination was just enough to come up short.
Corey Picos, our new leader for the #1 and #3 ranked trick skiers in the world to shoot at. Coming up next on the Chevy Trucks 44th Masters, presented by GM Fortec Engines.
America's horse. From the days of the Wild Wild West comes the legend of the
Fortec Engines, and by Nautiques by Correct Craft. Life is short. Live it. But we've got the #1 trick artist in the world. He has the world record of 12,120 points, Nicholas Leforstier.
He has tricked over 12,000 points, more than anyone else so far in the world. He is a high flyer. He moves quickly, and he is very consistent. When he is on the water against Corey Picos, either one could win. But the last couple of years, it has gone to Nicholas. He is very determined. Look at this. Holy smokes. He used every possible part of that 22nd pass.
He's one of the skiers who changes equipment between passes.
He has one ski for this pass, his handheld pass, and a different ski for the toe pass. Oh, you could really see him advance up over that line.
Nicholas, a 5-time Chevy Trucks Masters champion.
He's got to be feeling some pressure here. You know he's got to stand up. Ooh, a little bobble there. Recovered nicely. Back over his ski again now. Starting to move quickly, and yet not too fast. He's got to keep the pace up, but not get careless. Remember, one fall, and he will lose this championship. Doing some of the hardest tricks of the run, and he feels a great sense of relief. Now, will it be enough to beat Corey?
Will he add the Masters title to the Moomba title that he won earlier this year? Dave's with him now.
Nicholas, congratulations. Your 6th Masters trick title, 3rd in a row, and yet it appears that very few points separated you from 2nd place.
Yeah, I thought that I had enough margin to make it like a big win on that tournament, considering the other skiers didn't do too well before me. So I just stood up an easy pass. Apparently the judges must have taken a couple of tricks in my run, but I had enough like security on that, safety on that, so they could take one trick and would still win. So hopefully they're not going to change the score anymore, and that's the 6 victories. That's good. I love that tournament.
Well, congratulations for being so consistent year after year.
Thank you.
So Nicholas Leforstier once again takes the gymnastics event of water skiing. It takes courage and determination to win this next event, but what else would you expect from someone flying 280 feet over the water?
The Masters is one of the biggest tournaments. It's ski flying. It's something different. It's the pavilion. It's all the people. It's the main, it's the main event. All the sponsors are here. Big crowd, and it's America. It's a huge event. I love it. It's my first time here, and I was here. Actually, I was here as a junior, 8 years ago, and now I'm here ski flying, and I love it. I got started 15 years ago because my brother was skiing. He's 6, 7 years older than I am. Older brother, I wanted to do whatever he did. I wanted to do. I still want to do whatever he does. And that's how I got into it, and just couldn't let it go once I got underwater. I guess nerves plays a big role here at the Masters with the pavilion and of the atmosphere being so tense as it is. I go through my routines. We got things we can do everywhere we go, and I go through that, and that's how I handle my nervousness and just kind of focus on myself. I got to do the same thing no matter where I am, even if it's the Masters, and that's how I try to look at it.
The Masters isn't so mired in tradition that they haven't experimented over the years. For instance, they've taken the traditional jump event and they call it ski fly, and for good reason.
Oh, man, because do they fly. When you take the boat speed for the men and raise it from 35 miles an hour to 45, flatten out the ramp just a little bit, make it a little longer, and lengthen the rope, amazing things can happen.
One of the pioneers of ski fly, Scott Ellis. He's from Florida, 31 years old. They call him Rocket Man.
Well, his little rockets were shaky coming into the ramp that time. You could see that right ski was fluttering. It was not steady in the water. 233 feet, well off the mark of what Scott's capable of.
He unveiled his tremendous sense of humor when filling out his bio. Under occupation, he said misfit.
There he goes. That was a better jump, but he's still not hitting the lift. Had some speed, but he needs both. You can see right here, watch how his legs never get fully extended. He's leaving some distance on the ramp.
One more try. Hang time 2.7. Exit speed 71.3 miles an hour.
Watch him build speed slowly at first and then really accelerating right here into the base of the ramp. This is a better jump.
Yes, he's going to like this one.
Finally.
Almost 3 seconds of hang time. He exited the ramp at 72.8 miles an hour. And that's got to be a great jump.
Well, he hopes it is, because when you wait till the third and final to get a good jump off, he had to be feeling a lot of pressure. I think he's exhausted.
Oh, it's on the scoreboard, 279.
Well, he did wait to the last jump. What a relief.
and his mom, Jennifer, along with his dad. Let's check it out.
Well, everything came together there. You could see his back was straight as he hit the top of the ramp. That allows for that vertical lift to work for you.
Jared Llewellyn, the current world record holder at 299 feet. That's only a foot short of a football field. He's coming up next. Stay with us.
I've been coming to the Masters for a very long time. It's a prestigious event. It's so special when every time you come to Robin Lake, and then to have the ski fly at it as well, with the big prize money, with such a prestigious event, and it just puts everything together. And then the atmosphere with the crowd in the pavilion just makes it even more special. Yeah, you always like to come into the Masters with a lot of confidence, and it's important in your training that every day you focus anyway. But coming up to the Masters, because it's so special, you're always focusing, you're picturing yourself on Robin Lake, and you're also like your mental side as well. You're always picturing things just a little bit better leading up to the Masters.
Jared Llewellyn qualified at 270. He's got to do better than that to win the gold today. Both Curtis Shears and Scott Ellis have posted Skyfly numbers better than 270.
Whoa, and he rocks out on his first jump. Now that's what we call being on your heels. Coming into the ramp, sitting back so that the skis go forward and out from under you. Remember, the ramp is slipperier than the water. And at 70 miles an hour, you better be on your skis right.
Let's call it a warm-up for Jared.
Well, you can see here he comes in and he sat back right before the ramp, just in an instant. And that's all it takes to have really a wasted jump.
The 32-year-old was injured in New Zealand earlier this year, but has fully recovered.
Watch this approach now. He's going to stay up on the balls of his feet, accelerating into the ramp so he can push straight up. Oh, this is a huge jump. This is way out there, and that's how quickly fortunes can change.
A 3.1 hang time, and of course, the family is in the house, and they're cheering him on.
Well, the crowd loved that one because there was such a dramatic difference in the float time and the distance.
He's able to take advantage of the air conditions. 280 feet. That's the new standard. Let's see if he can improve on it on his final jump now.
Here's jump number 3. Great acceleration. Whoa, he got a little bit of an upper body crush this time. The legs were kicking, but the chest fell into the ramp.
It looked like he was shot out of a rocket this time. Freddy Krueger out on the water. Winter Gardens, Florida, 28 years old.
And he starts off aggressively. No holding back for Freddie. This guy is a veteran. He has won the Masters enough times to know that it's usually a shootout between himself and Jared.
3-time world record holder, 3-time Masters champion. He qualified at 279.
There you see that beautiful form again. Much like Jared, he really presses hard in right at the base of the ramp, because the tighter the line, the easier it is to stay on their toes.
Has a personal best of 293 in ski flying.
Whoa, there's another big jump. He has the most explosive vertical lift of anybody in the field. His vertical jump on the basketball court, this guy can slam dunk the ball. Scott Ellis, Jarrett watching, standing by just to see, can this guy poke one out over 280?
He needs 3 more feet to get that 280 here on the 3rd try.
Whoa, no! Whoa. Tips dropping, coming right off the top of the ramp. Big trouble. That is a huge crash. We're talking 270 feet out on your head. Watch carefully here. He loses this ski very quickly, and once the air catches it, there it goes. Left one goes first, then the right one. Big tumble. And that water feels like concrete. Upper body crushed, and then it's as if he sprung anyway. The skis came off early. That's a good sign.
Well, Dave, you're down at the dock where there's a great concern for Freddy Krueger. And he's coming off the dock now. Looks like he might have a sore ankle, but goodness, the way he hit.
I'm sure he's shaken up.
And Dave, you're with our winner now.
Jared, we just saw a spectacular crash there as Freddie went out, and I know that every bone in your body hurts to see that. But on the other hand, congratulations for a big win.
Thanks. That's definitely not how I wanted it to happen. You know, not a lot of guys, just with the training and being rolly here, have gone to 45 miles an hour. And Scotty actually went up for the finals, went to go for it. And this boat is so strong that lets the drivers having trouble with it just taking off on them. And that's why we're seeing some hot times. And he had trouble with adjusting it. And Freddie showed up. He's been training at home in nice conditions, so he's been going 45. So these guys have had a little bit of trouble with the speeds. And, you know, it's bad because he had a couple of re-rides, and being that tired, and he had some rollers. This place does have rollers, and he just, you know, the fatigue, it just ate him up on the ramp. And I'm happy about my jump. I tried to put the pressure on. I knew that, you know, it was going to fire him up, and Freddie needed to have a decent one.
And here's our official results. Of course, Jared Llewellyn, our winner, with Scott Ellis in second, and Freddie Krueger, despite the crash, taking the bronze.
You know what you never see in car commercials? Real cars. Cars that need Castrol GTX high mileage. It protects against oil burn-off better than other leading motor oils. Castrol GTX high mileage. It helps older cars feel young again.
Just prior to and during each fall hunting season. Bottled in limited quantities. Once available only to industry insiders. Wildlife Research Center Special Golden Estrus is the freshest, most premium whitetail doe and estrus scent you can buy. It's the smell your trophy buck has been waiting for. Special Golden Estrus from Wildlife Research Center, the brand hunters count on.
Every piece has its purpose. The Element from Honda.
What is propane? A certain warmth. A feeling of ease. A comfort in knowing that in your corner of the world, things are right. Propane. Clean, efficient, exceptional energy. See what propane can do for you with the energy savings calculator at usepropane.com.
A private guy caught in the public eye.
He's the real thing, and people don't give him credit for that.
A reluctant superstar, hero of devoted fans around the world. But off-screen, out of the spotlight, his life follows a different script.
You know, he's had to deal with a lot of death in his life.
It's a story you haven't heard. Keanu Reeves, the all-new E! True Hollywood Story, Sunday at 9. Only on E!
When a slalom skier or jumper leans into their cut and puts all that force on the boat, they can pull the average boat down 5 or 10 miles an hour, unless, of course, you got the right power plant under the hood. And today, we do. General Motors, along with Pleasurecraft Marine, marinized this engine, and they call it the ZR6 Vortec. It develops 370 horsepower. Now, what that means is as the skier pulls against the boat, the engine is strong enough to hold whatever speed you're trying to hold. 35 miles an hour in jumping, 36 miles an hour in slalom, and more importantly, when the boat has to zoom ahead to pick up speed to catch up with a jumper in midair, it can do that too. It's both a tractor and a race car.
think experience at the Masters is always important. I think experience anywhere, but you know, I think the more Masters I come to, the nerves don't seem to get any easier on the dock. So I think it feels like the first time every time, but you know, even when you get on the water, you do have that experience of knowing where to be aggressive and where to be patient. No, I used to practice a lot before the Masters and try to go find moving water, doing that, and then I kind of decided it was more important for me to be feeling good about my skiing, my timing being good, and then I'll deal with whatever Robin Lake gives me. I got started in England. My sister learned to ski first. I couldn't ski. I was 13 years old and I couldn't swim a lick, so it was really through family and friends, but seeing my sister, you know, big sister having a good time like that, it was like, you know, little brother wasn't going to have all that.
Andy Mapple has been around a long time and has won a lot of Masters titles. Was championship number 14 in the cards for the longtime skier? Check out these slalom highlights and find out.
The maestro Mapple, Andy Mapple, 40 years old, the current co-world record holder at 1 at 42. I'll give away my age, but I first started covering water skiing in 1983, and he was just beginning his American experience.
And of course, he'd won the World Championships in 1981, and before that, it was like, who's Andy Mapple? Well, everybody's known since then.
6'1", 180 pounds, perfect combination of body size and strength for this sport, but it's his love for the sport and the competitiveness that keeps him year after year.
Here's 35 off, and he's just cruising it. He trains just as hard now as he did 15 years ago. Jamie Beauchesne standing by, pondering what he will have to do coming out after Andy. Here's 38 off. Big turn. Watch him crank that ski. Andy skis with more angle than just about anyone. He can hang on to stuff that other people cannot hang on to. And here he is running all six, 38 off.
13 U.S. Masters wins. That's a lot of Rolex watches.
39 and a half. Big turn here at 2. Can he stay in it? Yes, he's on his way to 3.
Oh,
good turn at 3. Watch 4 ball. Big wall spray. He's off to the races. He's around 5. And he runs the entire path.
Oh, my goodness. Andy not qualifying where he's used to qualifying is really early, but he sets the standard. Now it's going to be fascinating to see the others try to match it or go above it.
Well, he's going to be coming back now at 41 off. Dina, his wife, standing by watching, of course, a champion herself. Here he comes. 1 ball. Whoa, he reached really far forward. Oh, he fell down and got back up, Art.
Got back to the wake. 1 buoy at 41 off.
That means the rope is 3.5 feet too short, and he still got around the buoy.
Now the agonizing task of waiting to see if 3 other skiers, including the co-world record holder Jeff Rogers, can better that mark.
Well, Andy, is that the conventional 1 ball at 41?
No, I actually felt good. I was kind of just thinking, the last thing I thought about going through the gates was, oh, that was all right. I got around the right gateway, and the next thing I knew, 1 ball was still way outside where I wanted it to be. You know, obviously, I think that's the goal of every skier here, but obviously that was my goal. Getting a little up and down, got myself a little down course, but I think that actually worked to my advantage because it made me a little bit more aggressive. We're coming back in at 39.
Andy looking for his 14th Rolex watch as the Chevy Trucks 44th Masters Slalom champion. We'll be right back.
When I got hurt in my car wreck, I had a ton of bills. Then I called Jim Adler, and he got me a $50,000 settlement. This truck.
Everything. The most prestigious tournament in the world, bar none. And to be here again at Callaway Gardens and Robin Lake, it's just it's the best feeling in the world, and it's just the ultimate. I think preparing for this event And in practice this week, I worked on a couple things. Just a couple things that kept me at ease for Robin Lake. And I tried those today, being top seed, and it went great. For preparing for Robin Lake, I just worked on, because it can get a little bit rolly here, worked on keeping my head level and not trying to rush the turns. My dad got me started in water skiing. He was in the Air Force, and he got me skiing at 18 months old. And I was show skiing at Cypress Gardens at 2, and it just took off. I was at my first nationals at 7, and there it went, like the shuttle. It just took off. It was great.
What a task now for 3 other skiers. Jamie Beauchesne on the water right now. He's out of New Hampshire, former junior world slalom champion in '94, a nationals winner in slalom and jump.
He has come on so strong here in the last 3-4 years. Has a unique style. A little different approach to the gates even. The way he pulls out very late and then rounds the buoy. Uses more of a snow ski type style where he drops his hips away and stays very open to the boat with his shoulders. But it works for him, and it works very well.
He qualified at 3.5 buoys at 39.5 off.
Now we have seen 32 and 35. Here comes 38 off. He really goes to work here. You'll see him dip down very deep at the buoy, drops in with his knees, and it explodes out of each turn. Wow, he's running it. He looks early for 6. He is early for 6. Wow.
Terrific run for Jamie.
Very strong, very muscular, very lean. Here's 39.5 off. Great turn there. Handle came up a little bit. Left foot forward skier. He's going to have a round turn there. He's in a little bit of trouble now. Whoa, he's very late coming out of this buoy, and he slams down around 5, and he gets back up again.
Amazing. They give him 5 at 39.5 off. That puts him in the hunt for the silver medal. Andy Mapple still out on top.
Here's our final skier, the last guy who has a chance to catch Andy Mapple. It is the defending Master Slalom champion, Chris Parrish.
Andy Mapple survives another skier, but here's the top seed, the kid from Orlando, Florida, 24 years old, tall, strong, and young.
Oh, yeah, this guy has all the components. Not only is he tall, not only is he strong, but he has technique. There have been skiers who are as strong or tall but don't have technique. But as tall as he is, he bends his knees amazingly well.
Andy Mapple was only 2 years away from his first world championship when Chris was born.
Here's 38 off. Big turn there. A little down course, but he makes up for it on the 135 side. Another left foot forward skier. Not quite as symmetrical as Andy Mapple, but pretty close. As a left foot forward skier, he rounds both turns. Now, 39.5 off. This is a must-do pass if he hopes to go home with a gold again.
Yesterday, he had 5 at this level.
Oh, he breaks. He broke at the waist, or he just plainly broke at the waist at ball 2, and that's all there was. There's no room for error.
161 pro wins, including 14 Chevy Truck Masters.
Andy, wow. I mean, a dramatic finish, really, because we expected Chris Parrish to really come out strong.
Yeah, I did. I watched the ladies ski, and they just kind of ripped it up, getting to the course record. So I figured that, several of these guys, we were going to have to run 39, and to run 39 here, it's really buoy-to-buoy skiing. Unfortunately, Chris got a little deep there.
This is victory number 14 here at the Masters. That alone is a record for anyone.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful. I think the Lord just, the opportunity to come here. I walked down that hill on a Sunday morning. I was thinking this morning, I'm kind of a golf fan, and they say the greatest walk in golf is down to the Masters, down Azalea Lane, I think it's called. I think walking down there and seeing the pavilion is the greatest walk in water skiing. And to me, it was just...
I understand. Good job.
An emotional Andy Mapple, just incredible. He's able to sustain such excellence over so many years. And the youngest skier in the world to run 39.5 off at a tournament came in the defending champion, Dave.
Chris, I know that's a disappointment for you. You came in as defending champion, but Andy put one big mark out there for you.
Yeah, I really, honestly, he did. You're right. Andy had a great score, but there was no excuse for me to miss 39. I mean, I had the headwind. I turned 2. I was so early at 2. I had lost on my speed. I was there so soon. Well, I hit something because I was looking at the boat, ready to go, and I just broke forward. And my day was over. But my hat's off to Andy. I'm happy for him, and it wasn't my day today.
Masters Water Ski Tournament adds to the traditional water ski elements the exciting form of wakeboarding. And, Jeff, we've got the world's best here.
And we certainly do revisit the origins of our roots. No sliders, no obstacles. These guys are going to have to merely rely on their wake prowess to distinguish themselves in the judges' eyes. A guy who's never had a problem doing that, Darren Shapiro. A multiple-time Masters champion, he is still a front runner for the championship here. Another guy, Danny Hawk, 19 years old out of Orlando, Florida. He brings an eclectic mix of spins and technical flips. He, too, could take home the title. But a guy you can't overlook, even though he stands under 5 feet tall, 13-year-old Philip Froggy Sobin. He has as much skill as anybody. He could sneak up and surprise the field and become our Masters champion.
Okay, let's get right to the exciting Masters action. Of course, without a monster-sized wake behind the boat, the competitors would never be able to pull off such great tricks. Jeff Martin explains some of the added features on this year's Nautiques.
Here's further proof of how wakeboarding is blowing up. We're getting our own wakeboard-specific boats. Check this out. It's the Vortec-powered 2003 Super Air Nautique Team Edition. What makes this so much better than your average ski boat at home? Let me tell you. It's a V-drive. Put that engine at the back. It's going to help create a bigger wake on its own. But that's not enough. We have deeper sides on this boat. It's called a deeper draft. Once again, more boat in the water, creating a much bigger wake. But that's not enough. This has not one, but 3 different compartments called ballast tanks. It's meant to draw water into the boat, adding more than 1,000 pounds. Again, sitting this boat deeper in the water, creating that heaping wake out the back that you're seeing all these athletes here at the Masters launching off of.
First up for the men, Sean Watson. He's 20 years old, won the first stop on the wakeboard tour in Orlando, and a national champion 2 years, 2000 and 2002. Watch him do his stuff.
Man, that huge Indy front, what a strong way to start out. Sean really puts the pressure on the other riders by starting out big and, and that's what I was going to say. He has a series of very technical spin moves. The huge front flip, no denying it there. But that spin, the handle just eluded his grasp.
Philip Froggy Sobin, he'll be the next. He's only 13 years old as we look back.
It's funny to think that a 13-year-old is taking meal checks out of the mouths of 20-year-olds like Sean, but that's what he aims to do. But Sean, I'll tell you what, is going to fight for every inch of it. There's that 720 spin that he did right there. 2 handle passes, 2 full spins. Now look, he's going back the other way. A heel side 7. Unfortunately, came up a little short on that effort.
Sean Watson, who edged out last year's Pro Tour and World Champion Eric Ruck to make these finals, is not going to be happy with that 43-44.
Well, this guy right here has a shot to overtake that. He's less boy and more man these days, but still at only 13 years old, he's got a lot of growing to do. One thing that he doesn't have to grow any further, his technical skills on the wakeboard. I mean, a lot of guys out there would like to see him stop right where he is, but I don't think that's going to happen. Look at this kid, the confidence, the groove, how smooth he rides. And then he bangs out a totally technical move like that, the KGB, and then right back in fluidly on his toe side for another technical move. I mean, he's got that energy of youthfulness behind him, and he just goes out, switch stance, 720, get out of Dodge.
A 13-year-old crowd pleaser, that's for sure. 7th grade gifted program at Rock Lake Middle School in Longwood, Florida.
Boy, there's no chance ever talking him to going in and getting a real job like being a paper boy when he's doing that kind of stuff. Huge whirly bird. I mean, can you imagine finding your vocation at this age and being as good as this one is? Oh, now this time that's a frontside front roll with a flying 360 handle pass rotation. This kid has it all going on. The future is so bright, and right now it's getting a little darker for those riders still on the dock. They must be just slackjaw over this effort.
When he's not thinking wakeboarding, he likes hockey, motocross, and skateboarding. That kind of guy.
Yeah, I know. How about that? Action sports all across the board, but right now, actions are speaking louder than words, and this kid is putting forth a dominating performance. Huge whirly bird, methodically late spun. I mean, this kid is, he's a tactician. He is a man. He's going, I thought he was going to spin a little further right there, but a nice 5 off the double up.
Okay, the scoring turns off, but what do you think he's going to do back to the dock? A little show here?
Yeah, you know, he still has one more move. It doesn't score, but he just lets the other riders on the dock know that he has this in his repertoire as well. A switch stance 900. When he starts sending that one home, Art, it's going to be a whole new league, and that man's going to be atop the food chain.
Philip Froggy Sobin. And as we look at the scoreboard, check it out, 66-44.
A formidable mark indeed. One that's going to be a set far out there for this young Australian right now. I shouldn't say young when a 13-year-old just went. 25-year-old Brett Eisenhower right now, who's been known for both melding his technical prowess with the ability to take a move huge. And he looks like he, too, is flowing. What a finals we're having here, Art.
He could be pumped up being a cover boy of that new Wakeboard magazine.
That'll definitely get your stoke going for sure. And, you know, he is riding smooth. He's riding with a whole lot of confidence. Switch stance, off-axis 5. So we saw Rayleigh-based moves, we saw inverts, and we saw rotationals. He is really paying keen attention to composition. 1/3 of the scoring element, ever so important.
He was second at last year's Masters. He certainly would like to elevate from there.
There's only one step higher, and Ike definitely has the skills to get up there. Switch stance back roll with a blind 180 landing. Ike is putting forth a great effort. I think he really likes it out here. Off-axis 360. What a great mixture of moves. Great grab, good extension on that bat wing right there. Robin Lake has been awfully kind to Ike, and he's treated it with the due respect in return. Here we're going to take a look back again. One of the bigger moves, his huge whirlybird. Now let's see what he does off this double up right here. He's up. Oh, he booted it. The OHH grabbing that rail with his backhand.
That's going to affect the score. 62-67, moving into second place. Froggy is setting the pace for the big guns. Shapiro and Harp coming up.
We got a problem up here. Tower 12, weather's moving it.
Heading up. Do you have the right truck? Does your truck have a Duramax diesel? Does it have an Allison transmission? Silverado. It's the right truck. From Chevy. Silverado is the only full-size pickup available with OnStar.
Any problems yet?
No, we used FedEx.
We have packages going ground in trucks, and there are no problems? This is a problem.
What's a problem?
That there are no problems. That's a problem. If there's a problem, I can deal with it right away. If there's no problem, all I can do is sit here and wait for a problem. Yeah, no, I'm going to be here all night.
But we used FedEx ground. There is no problem.
I know. It's a complete disaster.
Get out.
Is also brought to you by Nautiques by Correct Craft. Life is short. Live it. Darren Shapiro, the guy's almost a legend if he isn't already.
Yeah, I'd say he's firmly entrenched as our most glorified competitive wakeboarder our sport's ever known. Just sit back and watch this guy. A huge Vulcan with a method grab. A huge Stalefish front flip. I mean, he's diminutive in stature, but he is huge in talent. He takes everything so big. Switch stance 540. You have to watch for the technical subtleties with this guy. One thing that you don't have to watch for is any kind of bobbling. He stomps everything at all times. Oh, look at that. The Fruit Loop, a front flip from the toe side, blind 180 rotation. Man, he gives the judges a whole lot to score him on.
It'll take a year to read down his bio sheet, that's for sure. But he's a two-time X Games winner. He's won the Masters 4 times. 6 seasons, he's won the Tour Championship. And 4 times, Darren's been the World Cup winner.
And his appetite for a title is insatiable. I mean, he is always one away from a win. You know, if he has 99, he wants 100. And you can see it right now. He's hungry for a 5th Masters title. He's throwing out, I would say, almost all of his arsenal, but we're not seeing as much technical stuff from him. Just as I say that, a huge Stalefish to blind. But there weren't the 720s, and there weren't some other Mobius moves that we've seen from some of the other athletes. Let's see what he has to offer on the double up right here.
And Denny Harp waits at the dock.
All he can do is watch now. Shapiro's in toe side. Great bat wing off that double up, but Art, you know, he went big, but it wasn't as technical. Still to be a high-scoring run.
Top mark so far, though, as he moves into the lead, 68 even. Now Denny Harp, 18 years old, born in California, lives in Orlando now.
Oh, go. And unfortunately, he's at a dead stop in Robin Lake, trying for that KGB right off the bat. But again, he can pick up the pieces. You're only going to get scored on what you effectively execute. So, oh, Danny, sketchy right there. The Pete Rose. You know, Danny can pick up the pieces and throw a technical run filled with inverts, filled with modes, filled with 720s. He is not out of this by a long shot. Look at him go. A move only he does. Nose grab, toe side back roll, blind 180. Danny obviously knows his back's against the wall, and he is fighting for his competitive life and looking pretty good during so.
Well, the pressure's really on, though, to have another fine move. Top qualifier yesterday, 74.33.
And he's riding right now like a top qualifier. He picked up those pieces. He is throwing everything in his arsenal. A huge whirly bird right there. This is going to be his last effort coming in. 1, 2, a toe side 720. Unreal. The guy's spinning like a top out there. And it's going to come down to this, Art. It is so close. Look at how smooth he was on the heel side 720 during the first pass. Now it's coming into this, a toe side approach. He's up 1, 2.5. A 900! Woo!
My goodness, that's the biggest, sickest move of the day. That could be worth $1,000 from Wakeboarding Magazine for the all-around throwdown today. What an amazing comeback after kissing the water on his first move. Jeff's with him.
Danny Harf, your reputation as a money player precedes you. Once again, all-star event. You come up claiming the gold, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it felt good. I mean, the wake was perfect. You know, the lake's perfect, and everything just came together. Right off the bat, I fell I don't know what happened, just got hung up in the air, but I was able to just get focused and finish out the rest of my pass strong, and then just got a good double up and made the big trick I was going for, so it worked in my favor.
No question about it, Denny Harf had the pressure put on him by this young man, Darren Shapiro. He took a second place.
Joining me on the dock, Darren Shapiro. A lot of solid runs going down before you. You really had to charge and pull out all the stops, and once again, you answered the bell, Darren.
Well, yeah, Brett Eisenhower, he was on fire, and Froggy Sullivan, I've never seen him ride like that. So going out there, I was just wanting to put some big tricks together and try to just step it up.
Official results of the top 5, and as I look at this, Jeff, I see on the horizon a lot of young talent that's starting to push the ones that made this sport.
Those guys are so much fun to watch, and 13-year-old Froggy will be a force to be reckoned with in many Masters to come. Well, another year, another great event. The desire and will to win was evident with every one of the competitors. I don't know if we've ever had a field that was so talented and evenly matched. Callaway Gardens was once again the perfect host for this marquee event. Thanks for joining us for this look back on the Chevy Trucks 44th Masters, presented by GM Vortec Engines. And thanks to all the great competitors who made this event one of the best in recent memory. For Dave Benzel and Jeff Barton, I'm Art Ekman. See you next year at the Masters.